Well, since Brad Bird directed The Incredibles, and since it made a lot of money at the box office, it'd be fitting enough for him to make another movie. This is where Ratatouille comes in. And yes, I saw this movie when it was released in theaters. And no, I didn't see Cars when it was released in theaters. I forgot to mention my Cars with you. One, because I forgot. But anyway. Alright, is this one as good as The Incredibles? Well, let's look at the story. Alright, we have a rat named Remy, played by Patton Oswalt. He is basically like a little chef. Well, no pun intended, little chef. And that's what one of the characters calls him that, but we'll get to him in a minute. But he watches a TV show that stars a guy named Augusta Gusteau, played by Brad Garrett, who is basically a famous chef. So basically, Remy basically tries to make his own dishes and stuff, but his family won't let him do it. Like his rat family, and including his father, especially his father won't let him do it, and tells him to shut up and eat his garbage. So basically, one day he and his brother are named, what was it, Emile? All right, hold on. Yep, Emile, played by the director of Monsters University himself, Peter Son. I think he directed The Good Dinosaur. Well, whatever. But one day, he and his brother were like trying to cook something, and then lightning. Actually, I'll get to that part later. They go inside the old lady's house, trying to find a book and trying to cook some recipes. And Remy tries to cook a recipe while Emile stands guard. The old lady sees them and then tries to shoot them, and then the entire ceiling collapses and sees the rats. So basically, they evacuate it, but then Remy gets separated. Of course, like an American Tale. He gets separated from his family. So he basically runs around the entire city of Paris, and then comes across the restaurant on Cousteau's. But sadly, the owner himself, Chef Cousteau, passed away. So along the entire film, he basically the character himself, Cousteau, comes back as a figment of an imagination, kind of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, for example. But the gargoyles. I know what Doc Walker said about that, but yeah, he's actually right. Even though I do really enjoy the gargoyles, don't get me wrong. But he does come across the other main character of the film, named Alfredo Linguini, played by Lou Romano. He at first is basically a garbage guy because his mother passed away and he's trying to find a job. And he's hired by a guy named Skinner, the new owner of the restaurant, played by Ian Holm. So basically, Remy sees Linguini mess up a soup because he was trying to clean up the floor and add some water to it. But then, Remy comes near it, and then he's like, and then he starts to cook up more spices and make it a little bit different. Linguini sees them, and then the chef sees them, and tells him to throw them out. But the soup actually tasted good. So he and the rat try to form up a friendship and stuff. So that way, it's pretty much a story that we have seen before, which I'll get to that in a minute. But along the way, there are other characters in the movie, basically, Linguini's teacher is basically Remy, but there's another teacher, who is also another worker chef, named Colette, played by Janine Garofalo. And she and him actually do form a nice little chemistry, actually. A very cute chemistry, and I gotta admit, about Colette, oh man, she's got one hell of a... Janine Garofalo got one hell of a beautiful speaking voice for that character. It is a very beautiful French accent. And even the character design is really beautiful, too. She's like one of the hottest PIXAR characters ever. But anyway, so, but also, since Linguini was basically like a top chef in the entire restaurant, Skinner gets fired, and now, Linguini is rightfully the owner of the restaurant, which you probably already know, but I won't necessarily spoil it. But he also has to impress a restaurant critic named Anton Ego, played by the late Peter O'Toole from Lawrence of Arabia. Or will they be able? Will they be able to get the restaurant? And will keep the restaurant alive? Well, you probably already know. So let's talk about the biggest problem I have with this film: the story. Wait, it's not that it's bad. It's still a really good, well-told story. The biggest problem is it feels like you're watching the PIXAR version of the Iron Giant. Allow me to explain. You know how old Linguini and Remy are like forming up together, to be like friends and stuff, and then he has to keep it a secret or something. Yeah, that's kind of. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Well, yeah, that's kind of what happens here, and also, so basically, Remy is basically the giant, and Linguini is like Hogarth from the Iron Giant, and Skinner is basically Ken Mansley. And yeah, that's pretty much to say. But luckily, the writing is still really good, and its heart is definitely in the right place. There is some good humor. There are some really breathtaking visuals in this movie. This is like one of the best looking visuals you see in the Pixar film. And yeah, I have to admit, the only thing that is as good as The Incredibles is the animation. Particularly for his visuals and character animation. The voice acting is great too. And I do really like the relationship between Remy and Linguini. There's a lot of good fun. There's a lot of good fun humor, and there are some good jokes all along the way. Did you know Will Arnett is actually in this movie? I think he plays as the one on Chef that he goes like, "I kill a man with a thumb." I think that's him. I believe that's him because I've seen it right here on Wikipedia. But I do really like all the characters. The villain is pretty good, but he's not. But he's kind of like the Ken Mansley villain, like I said before. But he's still kind of enjoyable. Overall, while it's not quite as good as The Incredibles, it's still a great film. So if you haven't seen it yet, I say it's a definite film for you to check out. It's a definite great standalone movie. So, but if you have seen it, what did you think about it? Just comment below, click like on the video, follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Stardust. I'm the Bostonian Critic, and I will see you in a little bit. Take care.